Welcome to this week's class, When Your Health Matters, the class designed to empower you to better health through knowledge and education. And I'm your host, Dr. Richard Huntoon from Advanced Alternative Medicine Center. We are located at 138 Canal Street in Pooler Park, that is in Pooler, Georgia. We're in Suite 404 of Building 400. If you want to get a hold of me, that would be the simplest way, would be to stop into the office. But most people will typically call ahead of time. Best way to call me and get a hold of me would be to call my cell phone directly at area code 845-561-2225. Again, 845-561-2225. That is my direct cell phone number. Please do not text that number, as that phone is not equipped to receive texts. I will never get it. You'll never get a response, which would kind of defeat the purposes of you reaching out to me. But you can email me directly at docrick, DOCRICK, at spineboy.com, docrick@spineboy.com. And it's my pleasure to help you to better understanding what the concerns you have. This particular class, it's an important class, and lots of people seem to appreciate the class. It's called Avoiding Holiday Weight Gain. Now that we're headed towards Thanksgiving, the next 6 to 7 weeks in our society, people have a tendency to pack on 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 extra pounds between now and the end of the year. And I'd like to help you avoid that. So with the holiday season approaching, with the first holiday being Thanksgiving after National Poison Your Child Day of Halloween a couple weeks ago, we're going to tend to eat more, we're going to be out more, we're going to be festive more, we're going to be partying more as we build up to, the holiday season. Regardless of which holiday you celebrate, there are going to be lots of holiday parties. And a lot of people feel obligated or choose to go to these holiday parties in an effort to be social, in an effort to break up the monotony of their lives, give themselves something new and different to do. And I'd like to offer you 10 different ways to avoid holiday weight gain, so that come January 1st, you won't have packed on the extra weight, and then that would truly be a reason to celebrate. So first thing you want to do is plan ahead. If you're going to go to a party and you know you're going to go to a party and there's probably going to be stuff that you probably shouldn't eat or drink for that matter, and we'll get into those in a minute. Plan ahead. Have a healthy meal a couple hours before you go to the party. And you may say, well, why would you have a healthy meal if they're going to be serving food at the party? Well, if you go to the party full, then chances of you partaking in whatever it is that they're serving and having a tendency to overconsume those things that they're serving would be greatly minimized. So plan ahead to have a meal before you go to the party. Then you won't eat so much. If you're participating in the party and you're bringing something, bring a vegetable platter. The platter itself is made of vegetables. They're very low in calories. You can eat a lot of those vegetables, and I would suggest that if you bring a platter, that you partake in the platter that you brought, and you can probably eat more of those vegetables and not have to worry about the increased caloric intake, where you're going to be storing it rather than burning it. The question then becomes okay, well, what about the dips? Well, the dips is typically where all the calories are hiding. So if you can go without the dips, that would be great. If you could bring a low caloric, natural, healthy dip of sorts, maybe like a yogurt dip or one of those dips that isn't high in fat and isn't high in calories, all the more better. We talked about planning ahead and having a meal beforehand. If you're not interested in having a meal because you ate lunch, well, make sure that you have a big lunch. Have a big salad for lunch with lots of good, high-quality, fibery vegetables, which takes it longer for you to digest and process because of the fiber. That will tend to make you still feel a little bit full before you go to the party, and that will help to minimize you loading up on whatever it is that they're serving. Another way that you could do that, when you first get to the party, have a large glass of water. The large glass of water, if you drink it all relatively quickly, it's going to give you a sense of fullness in your belly, and then you're not going to have the tendency to want to go eat food because you already feel full. And these are all things that you can do to help yourself feel full so that you eat less. Um, Bring something non-alcoholic to drink. And I mention that because there's lots of calories in our alcoholic beverages, and the difficulty is once you start drinking the alcoholic beverages in a festive party type mood where you may not feel 100% comfortable, you may end up drinking more than you would like. And that leads to interesting stories the day after the party. Not necessarily in your favor, but interesting stories nonetheless. And I would encourage you not to set yourself up for those kinds of interesting stories by avoiding the alcohol that is so prevalent at these holiday parties. So bring something non-alcoholic, like a seltzer, flavored seltzer, fruit juices, those kinds of things, and stick to that. And there's nothing wrong with drinking water. That's really the only thing that I drink. Sixth thing that you could do to help yourself is limit yourself. Go in there knowing that you're going to have a limited amount of food, you're going to have a limited amount of desserts, cookies, whatever it is that they're also featuring in the party-like atmosphere. Say no to all those things, or just simply limit yourself to the amount that you're going to have. If you limit yourself to one plate of food, typically they're hors d'oeuvre plates, so it's a small plate, and you don't overpack the plate, then you're not partaking in so much food. So have some self-discipline and limit yourself. What else can you do? Well, this time of year, it's important to increase your exercise routine by increasing your aerobic exercise activity. And there's videos previously that talks about how to know if you are aerobic. I would invite you to go back and watch one of those. I believe they were in June or July. Increasing your exercise routine, then you're increasing your body's fire, you're increasing your body's ability to burn fuel. So then what you're putting into your body is going to be offset by the exercising, and then you won't start to pack on the pounds because you've increased your exercise routine. Ideally, it's more about aerobic activity like walking, cycling, elliptical, stairmaster, biking, those sorts of things. Running, if you're so inclined to do that. It's quite abusive to the body, but if you're already used to doing the running, then running is fine. So you want to increase your exercise program. The ninth thing that I would encourage you to do, this is a little controversial, but I'm going to say it anyway, stay home. You don't have to go to every party. And maybe you set yourself up where you only go to one party a week or something along those lines if you happen to be that popular and you get invited to a lot of parties. And you can tell the host, you can, maybe send them something that will help their party, but, you can't stay, or you can't come to the party because you've met your quota. You're really working on maintaining health and function, etc., and you don't want to set yourself up for failure by going to too many parties. And like I said, if you send some kind of dish or something, or drop it off and thank the host, and let them know that you got to leave, because you make up any excuse you want. Got to go get the kids, whatever. That would be another choice. Limit yourself before to be there and only go for an hour. Because if you only go for an hour, then there's a limit to how much you can eat. And don't eat and drink the whole time. But limit yourself to that hour, and go with someone else. And you guys have an agreement that you may socialize in different directions throughout the party, but at a particular witching hour, if you will, that you guys are going to come back together regardless of what was going on within the party. And you have to leave for whatever reason. Make up a reason. You got to go pick up your kids. You got to, relieve the babysitter, whatever the case happens to be. But limit yourself to how long you're going to be there so that you can get out of there before you've strapped on your feed bag and continue to stuff your face the whole night. And last but not least, if you're at a party, there's a chance that there may be somebody there you don't know. Good. Have an opportunity to meet some new people, have some interesting conversations, create new friendships and new connections, if you will, and don't eat at all. That would certainly be an option. But you definitely want to steer clear of the dessert tray, even though most of what may be there may be desserts, if they're not just simply hors d'oeuvres or a vegetable platter that you may have brought. But try to stay away from those things, because once you crack the door, it's really, really hard to shut that door, especially if you're going to be going to multiple parties over the next few weeks. And so if you apply just one of these rules or techniques each time you go to a party, I gave you 10 techniques. You could go to 10 parties and apply a different one each time. And then come January 1st, you won't have packed on the excess weight. And as we continue to get older, it's harder to get rid of the weight. So if you haven't packed on the excess weight come January 1st, that would truly be a reason to celebrate. So I want to thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to stop into the office. That's at 138 Canal Street, Suite 404 in Pooler Park. That is in Pooler, Georgia. Give me a call directly at area code 845-561-2225. Or email me directly at docrick, DOCRICK, at spineboy.com. And I would look forward to supporting you after the holidays to help you start off the new year really, really well. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back with you again next week.